What's good, Blazer Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared. Y'all, today we're going to be looking at a video from a channel by the name of Law and Crime. I keep on saying Law and Criminal. Law and Crime. Yeah. There's a reason why teachers are getting in trouble nowadays. Apparently, this woman got impregnated by a little boy. And the grand jury whooped her ass in court. Look at this.
The allegations against this fifth grade teacher are so shocking, they're hard to believe. Not only did she sexually assault a boy for years, starting when he was just 11 years old, she allegedly had his baby when he was 13. Now a grand jury's indicted Laura Karen, and we are diving into this twisted story. And oh, by the way, she's out on bond. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. You might still be digesting what I just said there in the open of this show because of what a fifth grade teacher is accused of in South Jersey. Her name is Laura Karen, and there is a lot to unpack in this story when we look at what she's accused of. Before I get to the new details that just came down on this case in just the last week, let me remind you of what Karen allegedly did. Karen was a fifth grade teacher at a public elementary school in Middle Township, New Jersey. It's a town located along the coast near the southernmost tip of the Garden State. This story broke in January, and it was broken in a very unique and explosive way because the father of the alleged victim, who we'll talk about in just a moment, went on Facebook and posted that Karen's 5-year-old son looked very similar to his son, as if his son was the father. Now, Karen's daughter was born in 2019, and that is when the father's son was just 13 years old. Karen was 28. I'll get into what police have allegedly found out as they've been building their case that this 5-year-old girl is in fact the son of a then 13-year-old boy. But here's how Karen allegedly gained access to this young boy. Not only did Karen just teach the alleged victim and his brother, but they lived with Karen. According to court documents, the victim's parents say they struck up a friendship with their boy's fifth grade teacher. They allowed their kids to spend time at her house, and eventually they allowed the kids to spend the night there. And according to court records, quote, it began with—
Hold up, wait a minute. Wait, and white people puckery bullshit is this? First of all, you allowed your sons to live at a teacher's house because y'all just became magical friends. Is that what the fuck I'm hearing? So you telling me that you were irresponsible as hell as a parent to allow your kids to stay at a woman's house, especially now that we are seeing a lot more female teachers abuse their powers in school. So you're telling me that you as a parent just say, you know what, I'm just going to let little Johnny go ahead and go over to his teacher's house and spend the night. It's going to be fine. Where in the fuck does that shit make sense?
1 or 2 nights a week, and eventually the children stayed with Karen permanently from 2016 to 2020. Now listen,
they stayed with the teacher permanently from 2016 to 2020. And y'all wasn't wondering if they were
living arrangement certainly stuck out to us. It's unclear what was going on, that the parents decided that their kids should go and live with their fifth grade teacher for several years. Police spoke with the victim's sister, who also stayed at Karen's house, and she said that she and her siblings would stay in a shared room upstairs in the home. But there were times in the morning when she would wake up and her then 11-year-old brother wouldn't be in the room with them. Instead, he would be in Karen's bedroom, sleeping in her bed. She also said that while the other children showered in a second-floor bathroom, the victim, her brother, would shower in a first-floor bathroom and she also said that she allegedly saw Karen enter the bathroom and lock the door. According to court documents, Karen sexually abused this victim starting in 2016 when that boy was just 11 years old, and it continued on for 4 years. When interviewed by police, the victim said that he believed that Karen, his former 5th grade teacher, would have sex with him twice a week. And then he continued communication with Karen up until his dad made that Facebook post last year alleging that Karen was the mother of the victim's child. All right, let's talk about those allegations. Not only do police have the Facebook post made by the victim's father, they also allegedly have a screenshot that the victim's sister took of a conversation that she had with the victim, where he, quote, admits he is the father and, quote, requests her not to tell anyone because he does not want Karen to get in trouble. Police also say the victim's mom spoke with her son, and she says that he admitted to her that he is the now 5-year-old girl's dad. Hey everybody, this is a Law and Crime Legal Alert. Did you know that children are being diagnosed with serious conditions like type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and research is potentially linking ultra-processed foods to these outcomes? Our partners at Morgan & Morgan are stepping in to fight to hold food companies accused of diabetes after the Facebook post accusing her of being the mom of a 13-year-old's child and sexual abuse went public. She was charged with aggravated sexual assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. The school district where she worked said she was put on administrative leave. Now, this is video of the teacher in court per WPVI TV, and according to court records, the former teacher is now out on bond for non-monetary conditions. Now,
So wait a minute. Hold the fuck up. So you're telling me that this woman literally got pregnant by a 13-year-old, had a child by the 13-year-old, and is still able to get out on bond. But yet, if a man would have did some shit like this, oh, it would have been a wrap. That man would have been in jail for decades. How the fuck is this okay? Like, seriously, like, somebody explain this shit to me.
her defense attorney has pointed out that at this time, there's no DNA evidence that proves that the victim is indeed the father of Karen's child.
Hold up. Wait, say what?
Court records, the former teacher is now out on bond for non-monetary conditions. Now, her defense attorney has pointed out that at this time, there's no DNA evidence that proves that the victim is indeed the father of Karen's child.
Are you fucking kidding me? The defense attorney said that there's no evidence, that no DNA evidence stating that the victim is the biological father of the defendant's child. We can solve that shit quickly. It's called a DNA test, you fucking retard. Oh, the stupid shit that people say.
Alleged father of her child is now 20 years old. And the Daily Mail claims that they spoke with him and they say he is standing by his former teacher. He claims he wasn't groomed by Karen, but, quote, I started everything. If it was up to me, she wouldn't have been in jail. It's been 6 or 7 years. I'm 19, about to be 20. This week, a grand jury.
He's 19 and he turned 20. He's standing by his old teacher. Okay. I'm going to say this. If he was clapping her cheeks, okay. But morally, this shit is wrong. Because she's an adult. She's an adult. So morally, this shit is... So morally, she fucked up. Now, he's saying that he's okay with it. Okay, well, sir, it's still wrong.
In Cape May County, New Jersey, indicted Karen. The prosecutor on the case, named Jeffrey Sutherland, stated, quote, these allegations are deeply disturbing, particularly given the position of trust the defendant held in relation to the victim. Our office remains committed to protecting the most vulnerable members of our community and will continue to aggressively investigate and prosecute those who violate that trust. Join us now to talk about this case is Practice Professor of Law at Temple University, Marian Bracha. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. This is a shocking story that's taking place not too far from where you live in Philadelphia. Have you seen a case like this before? It just seems, we've talked about teachers who have been accused of crossing the line, but this just seems to be at a whole new level.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, there have been cases where teachers, those in caregiving positions, those who are really supposed to be the most responsible for the well-being of our children, have engaged in conduct like this. And I have seen and in fact handled other cases where pregnancy has resulted as a result of this context.
What stands out to you in terms of the relationship between this alleged victim and this teacher? Because she taught him, but then he's living at her house with his siblings, and it went on for a long period of time.
Right. Well, I think the most confounding factor in all of this was the age of the complainant or the alleged victim. At the start, I believe it's alleged that he was only 11 years old, and it continued for a certain number of years. So if you think about an 11-year-old, that's in some instances even prepubescent. So it's pretty shocking that sexual contact would have started that young.
What is it about? Because we've covered a lot of cases where teachers have had sexual relations with students. What have you found the driving factor is behind so many of these cases where you see a teacher do something like this, allegedly, with someone who is so young and it went on for so long?
I can tell you, she ain't getting no dick. She can't find somebody that satisfies her, and she wants to start young. Same thing with the P3POs. They can't find nobody that's worth the damn, so they want to go towards kids. That's what happens. That's not scientific. That is stating the fucking truth.
Well, I don't want to generalize, and I don't want to say that there is one particular factor or one trait that runs in common across either every defendant who's been accused of a crime like this, or certainly any defendant who's been convicted of a crime like this. I will, however, say that there is diagnostic material that a sex offender would go through an analysis, would go through a psychiatric analysis post-conviction, and there are diagnoses in the DSM that are related to the abuse of children and to the adult attraction to children. As
you know what I can damn blame this bullshit on? You know what I can blame this on? I blame this on the damn parents. You know why? Because the parents allowed this shit to fucking happen. I blame the parents. I blame they asses for all this shit right here. They are to blame for this. Because you don't just allow your sons and your daughter to go live at a random ass person's house and allow them to spend the night multiple times, in fact, and then for 4 fucking years you say, you know what? You're doing better over there. I'm going to just let you go stay with your teacher. What parent does that? That's why I said in the beginning, the white people fuckery that goes on nowadays is just insane. You can't make none of this shit up no more. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Like, share, subscribe, channel, support the podcast, I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys. Ain't that about a bitch?